I worked for a government-run media archive in Ankara back in 2009. I wasn't a journalist or producer, just a post-production guy. My job was to digitize old tapes, clean up audio, organize reels. Most of it was boring, until one day a thick, dusty box came in with no labels, just a stamped word on the side. Karadedeler. My supervisor handed it to me personally. Strictly off the books, he said. You're to digitize these, organize the footage, and send them back to my office. No copies, no questions. At first I thought it was some old, unauthorized documentary. The footage was dated 1989 from a rural village near Karadedeler, up near the Bulgarian border. Grainy video, poor lighting, but there was something about it, something off. The first few tapes showed a small, frightened village. Homes made of stone and clay, interviews with villagers, most blurred out. Subtitles said things like, "We saw it again last night," or "The boy disappeared at sunset." One man said his dog had torn its own throat open, trying to escape its chain. Another claimed he saw a thing, black as coal, walking upright and then crawling backwards. I thought it might be some dramatization, but the fear in their eyes didn't look fake. Then came the police interview. A young officer, barely 20, sitting with a bandaged hand, shaking. No subtitles, just silence. His eyes darted constantly. Then he leaned forward and whispered something, his lips trembling. It doesn't just watch, it waits. The next tape was labeled January 10th. It showed the documentary crew entering the forest behind the village. It was daylight, but everything looked dim, like the trees were choking out the sun. The footage shook often. The cameraman kept looking over his shoulder, as if he was hearing something we couldn't. That night, they stayed in one of the villagers' homes. The camera recorded as they discussed how every night at 2:13 a.m., strange things happened. Dead birds outside windows, doors unlocking themselves, black figures in the fields. I laughed nervously. Maybe it was staged. But then I reached tape 5, January 13th, 1989, the last known footage. It begins with the crew returning to the forest. They'd installed a static camera facing a tree where the creature was supposedly seen. Hours pass, nothing. Then the temperature drops, you can see it. The lens fogs. The crew starts to hear something, what sounds like a radio tuning between frequencies. One of the men, Mustafa, grabs his head, says he feels like it's inside his skull. The camera glitches, and then you see it. A figure, tall, gaunt, human in shape, but wrong. Too thin, arms that stretch too far. Its head tilted, like it didn't understand what it was looking at. It stood silently at the edge of the trees, then turned and crawled on all fours backwards into the woods. The crew panics. They run. You hear their screams, but not through the camera mic, through something else. It's like the tape absorbed their terror. The next 2 minutes are nothing but static. Then the camera turns on again. It's lying on the forest floor. One of the crew, barely alive, dragging himself across the ground, blood on his face. He looks into the lens and whispers. It follows sound. Then, behind him, movement. A pale face, hollow black eyes. The screen goes dark. I ejected the tape and sat in silence. I don't know how long I stayed there. It felt like hours. That night I had a dream. I was in the forest, alone. The sound of static growing louder and louder until I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I returned to the archive the next morning. My supervisor, gone, cleared out. The box, removed. My login credentials were revoked 2 days later. Officially, they said I had been transferred to civilian digitization, but I never received another assignment. Months later, I found something on my home PC. A single frame, just one from the tape. The pale face, eyes that looked through the screen. I never copied it. I never downloaded it. But it's still there. And every so often, when the room is quiet and I'm alone, I hear the sound of static again. And at 2:13 a.m., I see movement just outside my window.